Good morning, my world of rogues. It is a very rainy day today outside, so I'm going to be staying inside reading all day. I have been reading all morning, and I wanted to talk about That Summer by Sarah Dessen, which is my new absolute favorite summer romance novel. Even though it's kind of a 90s book, kinda. It is a 90s book because it was first published in 1996, but I didn't get to read it until now. So, anyway, in that summer, this girl, Haven, experiences a summer of change. Her parents get divorced, her dad remarries, her mom wants to go to Europe for like a month-long trip, and then her sister is also getting married. And this girl, Haven, she learns change is the essential process of all existence, to quote a line from Star Trek. Favorite characters? To be honest, I didn't actually have any, but that didn't make the book bad in any way. My least favorite characters, there were actually three. Haven's dad, because he had an affair and then he got his girlfriend pregnant, so he divorced his wife to marry his girlfriend. And then it gets even more complicated than that because I also don't like Haven's mom because she wants to go on a month-long trip to Europe and she doesn't know what to do with Haven, so she's just like, oh, I want to go and you take care of yourself. So that's sort of like irresponsible, and I didn't like that. And then I also didn't like Haven's sister because she was kind of selfish and ungrateful, not understanding of her sister's pain. The list can go on, but I'll just stop here. I only had one favorite scene in this entire book, and that was actually, like, complicated enough. But I enjoyed the scene where Haven found her voice. At the end of the novel, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I have been through this long narrative over a summer, so what's going to happen next? And then Haven, who works at a shoe store called Little Feet, she decided to help a woman with a purchase of these Smurf shoes, and the woman was being very bratty, very inconsiderate, and Haven kinda, this is where a spoiler comes in, Haven threw a shoe at her and got fired from her job that same day. But even though there was like a negative aspect to that scene, I still really liked that scene just because, as I said before, Haven found her voice. And if you know me, you know that I never really stop talking. So I kind of related to Haven, even though I don't have a problem telling anyone what I think, really. Um, my least favorite scene, that's a hard one to say too, but when I was beginning to read the book, it seemed like a boring summer narrative that kind of grew on me after. So with some of the books that I read, it's like, okay, I don't like them while reading them. And then when I stop and think about it, they start to grow on me. Like Rocks Fall, Everyone Dies by Lindsay Rybar. Hated the book when I read it. Considered it after I read the book. Loved the book. So that's the way it kind of was with that summer. Ratings, it was rated a 3.5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, but my rating is like a 4 of 5 stars. That's just me anyway. I know in 1996, Sarah Dessen's books were few, but they have gained skill along the way, and I love that about Sarah Dessen. I mean, she made me fall in love with romance novels. Like, my mom likes Agatha Christie. I love Sarah Dessen. Oh my gosh. Also, quotes I like, this is gonna be a lot. Baby Ronald was at the kitchen table eating bologna slices and playing with his Star Trek action figurines. As you know, I am obsessed with Star Trek and all things Spock. I would happily help him with Ponfar. So anyway, whenever a book references Star Trek, I just have to make a mental note of it, and then I give extra stars. So that 4 stars for that summer became a 5 star. And then I also liked the scene, oh, well, this is like going back with quotes and everything, but I liked how Haven and the character of Sumner, who is Haven's sister's ex-boyfriend, I liked how they talked music and then mentioned the Andrews sisters, who were popular in the 1940s. And I know about them because my dad showed me Bud Abbott and Lou Costello movies all throughout my childhood. So that was also really cool to see. I'm like, oh my gosh, somebody still remembers them. Oh my gosh. So that was really cool. And then another scene that kind of stood out to me was when Gwendolyn Rogers, the model that like Haven knew about in her hometown, Gwendolyn Rogers regrets being a model because she thinks it's a lot of work being perfection in the spotlight on a runway, and she probably has anorexia because she's stick figure thin. And then I also feel bad for her. And as I read this novel with her cameos here and there, I just felt like she was the type of person where you would just want to give her a hug. And that kind of made me remember some good things about high school, because even though they were the worst 4 years of my life, I was kind of like the little chihuahua. My brother nicknamed me the chihuahua because I'm short and tiny and a little fighter. But anyway, back to high school. My best friend, at one point, she said, "Erin, I'm going to hug you until it's no longer awkward anymore. We are no longer friends, but that is not because of the hugging thing. But my best friend at the time said that I'm the type of person who needs a hug, and so that's why she hugged me." So when I read that scene where Gwendolyn Rogers was just standing in the middle of nowhere, that made me think of the scene. I'm not actually sure why, but it was still really sweet. So anyway, that summer is the best book of this summer in the romance department. So I would highly recommend this to anyone who wants like a narrative or just something to read while you're sitting on a beach. Not today, of course, because it's raining, but I really, really recommend the book. I think of it so highly. I hope you do too. If not, that's okay. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. If you like this video, subscribe to my booktube channel below to get more videos like this, and have a great rest of the rainy day, everyone!